When I was 17, I was a big art nerd.
When I was 17, I met my first love.
When I was 17, unfortunately, I was my dad's personal landscaper. Worst job of all time.
When I was 17, I played football and sang in the choir.
When I was 17, I roller skated through the halls of my high school and got busted.
Evanescence lead vocalist Amy Lee broke onto the scene in 2003 with the band's debut album, Fallen, which sold 17 million copies worldwide and earned them 2 Grammy Awards. This fall, Amy's powerful pipes will prevail when Evanescence releases their self-titled album, available October 11th. But what were Amy, Chris, and Theophilus up to before they were dominating our DVRs and party playlists? Back when they were conducting the choir, falling in love, and stealing their dad's sneakers? Your tender teenage years might not be as different from theirs as you may think. So let's take a look back at what they were like when they were 17.
When I was 17, I was a teeny bit of a loner, not in a I don't like anybody way, but I was an artist. I loved art class and choir. I was kind of a nerd. Yep. I went to high school in Little Rock, Arkansas, and my school was a college preparatory school called Pulaski Academy. It's all about the preppies and their Birkenstocks and their tucked-in shirts and their brown belts. And I didn't want to be that.
The way she dressed was definitely a little bit different. Her clothing tended more towards a grunge sort of style.
It was definitely more like jeans and an 80s t-shirt. When I was 17, our school had really slick floors. There was like this really big hall, and it's perfect for roller skating. It's just like the halls are empty when people are in class. And if it's just study hall or art or whatever, then why not go for a little skate? I don't know why I thought that that would be good. So I was skating by myself, total nerd, and some other teacher was like in the hall, like skated by, and she was like, "Detention!"
It was a little bit of a big deal. She got in trouble, and Amy typically never got in trouble.
And actually, one of my art pieces after that was her getting skated over by a giant skate.
It was giant, and the teacher was in the background, and it was playful, and it was fun, and it was very colorful.
When I was 17, I was a big creative person. I was choir president, you know, so I did the all-state. And being an all-state choir definitely was a very cool, coveted thing if you're a big choir nerd like me. By my senior year, I talked to my choir teacher and told her that I'd written a choir piece and that I would love to show it to her, and I gave her the sheet music, and she said she loved it and that I should direct it. I really loved that.
She was really excited. It was a first for her. It was a first for the school.
I was definitely more nervous directing than I would have been if I was just one person in the choir. But we had a few months to rehearse the song, so, you know, every day when we go to choir class, we'd work on that one. And my teacher was so supportive and so cool to me and really pushed me to do even more than I was asking to do, because I wasn't asking to step up in front and direct the choir, but she wanted me to. We started out just performing a song that I wrote for the choir at the choir performance. And everybody liked it so much that they asked us to do it at graduation, too. So that was really, really special.
The whole audience gave her a standing ovation, and she was just overwhelmed by it, and at the end, it was magical.
I definitely felt like I started out at that school the underdog in a lot of ways. And by the time we got to that ending moment with graduation, I just felt somewhat accepted, you know, and just like, hey, it's cool to be different. It's cool to be an artist. It's cool to do your own thing and not be like everyone else.
Okay, kids, it's time for your first pop quiz. Whose mom got them out of a speeding ticket when they were 17? Was it Amy Lee's, Chris Klein's, or Theophilus London's? Find out when we come back. Want to know what kind of mixtapes Amy Lee, Chris Klein, and Theophilus London were listening to when they were 17? In 1998, Amy was into an Icelandic icon.
I loved alternative music, and Bjork was probably my favorite artist.
years earlier, Okay guys, it's quiz time again. Who missed the announcement that they had been nominated for Homecoming Court when they were 17? Was it Amy Lee, Chris Klein, or Theophilus London? The answer and more after the break. Time to take a look at what Amy Lee and Theophilus London were tuning into back when they were 17. In 1998, Amy was relating to a certain sharp-witted teenager.
Daria, I loved. That was one of my favorite shows. I really related to her cynicism and loved her art friend. I think I identified more with her, actually.
Wow. License to drive. The grotesque picture makes it official.
When I was 17, I went to this cliquey private school, and the people that get on homecoming court are the cheerleaders, you know, popular girls. That wasn't me. I was the art nerd. So they announced who was going to be on homecoming court at like 10:30 break, like out in the courtyard. And I spent a lot of time alone, so I wasn't in the courtyard with everybody else. I was like in the cafeteria getting a snack or something. And my friend ran back to the cafeteria. I was like literally like pushing the button on like a bag of chips or something. And he was like, you got on homecoming court. They just called your name and you weren't there. You're supposed to be there to collect your rose. And I was like, what? I was like, you're pranking me.
Want to know what kind of mixtapes?
Well, he's like, no, really, like, they really did. You have to come right now. So I went with them, and for whatever reason, people voted
in 1998, Amy was into...
No, really, like, they really did it. You have to come right now. So I went with them, and for whatever reason, people voted for me to be on homecoming court. I just felt shocked. I was really surprised, and I thought it was maybe a joke or something. But it made me feel happy about my classmates.
She was excited about it later, probably secretly. She wouldn't want you to know that she was really excited, but you could tell.
Of course, at homecoming, I wore all black, did my own hair. I did some weird, like, medieval braid thing around, like a braid headband. It was very me. I did that stuff a lot. Oh, my parents loved it, of course. Oh, our little golden girl. My dad walked with me during the court ceremony thing. That's what you do.
It was so anti-Amy, but she played the part well, and I think she truly enjoyed it.
Me and my friends, we kind of thought it was hilarious, honestly, but really cool. I wasn't homecoming queen, but I was on homecoming court.
Okay, guys, time for your last pop quiz. What flea market find did Amy Lee miss out on when she was 17? Was it a Care Bears lunchbox, a Ninja Turtles t-shirt, or a Rainbow Bright blanket? Get the scoop when we come back.
When I was 17, I had this whole like 80s obsession, and I was like collecting all those toys that I like wished I had when I was a kid. And all the time during the summer, everyone's having garage sales, and there's tons of flea markets in Arkansas. So my friend and I, we'd get up like at 6 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays to try to find Rainbow Bright, Care Bears, Gremlins, any of that stuff. And I started building this massive collection.
I think the passion for Amy was in the hunt, and being able to discover and find it first was part of the game.
One time, my friend and I, we went together to this like flea market where you have to pay to get in the door. So we both paid like $10, and there was this Rainbow Bright comforter. Like a queen-size comforter. You can never find that because it's all kid stuff. And it was totally awesome. I've never even seen it since. Rainbow Bright comforter with all the color kids like dancing around. And she found it first. And I was so upset. I was like, I will give you $25 if you'll give me that. No, it wasn't happening. We totally fought over, not really fought, but I was like bummed. And I was just like, please share that with me. Can I please have it half of the week? And she was like, no. It's funny now, actually, I have all that stuff in my studio where I work and write and stuff. It's all kind of Victorian looking, but then it's also covered with Rainbow Bright dolls and Care Bears dolls and 80s memorabilia, because it feels like high school. It feels like, you know, the old me. Yep. Once I have some time again, I plan on trying to complete the collection once more.
When they were 17, Amy got courted, Chris got cloned, and Theophilus brought beats to the burbs. What will you say you did when you were 17?
I think I was funny. I think people would think I was a funny person.
More of your favorite celebrities' When I Was 17 stories that didn't make the show at MTV.com.